What's going on, guys? This is KNasty390 here. Welcome to a trade reaction video. As you can see on the screen here, Jeurys Familia was traded from the Mets to the Oakland Athletics for a couple prospects. Nothing too crazy. We'll get to it in a minute. I'll tell you who I think won the trade and my thoughts on the whole trade for everything. But just Familia, closer for them, or reliever. I don't think he was closing for them that much this year, but he's a reliever, a high-end reliever. He is a free agent at the end of the year. That's a big thing to remember. At the end of this year, he's a free agent. He'll sign. I highly doubt he'll sign with Oakland. But as you can see, the prospects that the Mets got: William Toffee and Bobby Wall. So then they mention here MLB Trade Rumors. It's a great website. I highly recommend you guys follow him on Twitter and use their website. They know that he's going to reach free agency at the season's end. Mets are off to a pretty poor season. And I mean, they talk about kind of how good of a player Familia is. We pretty much know what he is. If you are just a little new to him, here is his baseball reference page. This year, he's pitched 40 innings, 40 games, 40.2 innings, 43 strikeouts with a 1.23, which is basically his career average. He does have 17 saves, so he has been closing for them. I know on Friday night he didn't close, but that was because they thought of him being traded. Now, the save stat I've been not a huge fan of, and I know one year he led the league, but he would always end up making the games interesting. I think he had like a consecutive save streak, but like every game there'd always be several people on base, and it was just he got out of it. I mean, he wasn't the best reliever that year, which some people were claiming he was, because he led the league in saves. I don't really look at that. He's a very good reliever. I know last year he had a 4.38 ERA, so he did struggle a little bit last year, but this year he's kind of been back to what he's been, a mid-2 ERA type of guy. So nothing too bad there. Now, like I said, he is a free agent. He'll get a nice payday, most likely in the offseason, barring any injury. He does have a domestic abuse thing that did come up, I think, last year. He was suspended from Major League Baseball. So I'm not sure how that will affect him. But let's take a look at, we know what Oakland got. We know Familia. He's probably going to be their setup man. They got Trian as their closer. He's probably going to be their setup man if I had to guess. Got two really good relievers that should help him out. I might even put them ahead of Seattle in terms of like me ranking teams in that division. Seattle doesn't have Cano, and they won't have Cano in the playoffs. Now the players that the Mets got, we're going to start off with William Toffee, because he's probably the bigger name. He is 23 years old. He'll be 24 on December 31st. He was originally drafted by the Yankees in the 23rd round, and then Baltimore in the 25th round, the 2016 draft, but then Oakland last year, 2017 draft in the 4th round. He's 20, like I said, 23. He's currently in high A ball. He's getting on base, a 357 on base to a 244 batting average. He's walking about 10% of the time. He's not really slugging the ball. Slugging percentage of only 384, only 5 home runs, only 8 doubles. It's been 48 games. Now, he is ranked, as you can see here, this is MLB Pipeline. Now, this is before the season started, so things change. But he is ranked 17th on the Oakland A's farm system. Oakland has a halfway decent farm system. Luzardo's a pretty good pitcher. Puck had, I think he had Tommy John, Sean Murphy, Mateo, Austin Beck, Caprillion, some other names. Grant Holmes is a name. So, and I don't think, did I mention Barreto? Yeah, he's not even on this. Franklin Barreto's not even on this. So, here is Toffee. And they note about him, he was a baseball and hockey star. And, I think he's from Massachusetts. As you can see, his tools, now on the 20 to 80 scale, where 50 is being average. He's slightly below average in hitting, power, running, a slightly above average arm, and slightly above average fielding. Overall, he's just slightly below average player. Nothing crazy. Like, he's already 23. He's in high A ball. That's old for that league. Relatively old. Usually you want 22, 23s to be in double A. He's 23 in high A, and he's not really like killing it there like we looked earlier. He's hitting, what, 244 to 357 on base at 384 slugging. Maybe he's a big leaguer. Maybe. If he is, he's not going to be anything crazy, most likely. Now, obviously, things can change. Someone might just really figure it out. It doesn't look like he's going to be anything crazy. Maybe a big leaguer. Nothing crazy there. He is 17th on Oakland's farm system, and Oakland's a pretty solid farm system. Bobby Wall is the other guy. He's 26. Now, he's actually been the bigs a little bit. He's pitched 7 2/3 innings pitched this year. Was it this year or was it last year? No, it was last year. He's 26. He was drafted by the A's in the 5th round of the 2013 draft. He's not, nothing really too crazy here. I looked him up on their top prospects, maybe because he has major league experience. He's not on it. All I know is he's 26 and he's been between the majors and the minors. As a pitcher, and now he looked like as a reliever, so I don't know. Maybe he turns into a halfway decent reliever. At least he's a big league arm. But Familia is a pretty darn good player. I know he's a free agent. I was thinking, because Billy Beane does have a tendency of trading big-time prospects. Addison Russell, Carlos Gonzalez, like, for players that are kind of rentals. Like, they traded Cargo for Matt Holliday, then traded him a year later. He'll go out and get someone, and he's willing to give up big-name prospects. Or big-name players. I mean, he traded Cespedes for John Lester. So he's not afraid to take chances like that. I was thinking, like, they could get a big-time prospect back. I know what, and you guys are going to be saying, what's the difference between this and what the Padres got for Hand and, is it Simmer? I can't remember the other guy's name. I'm sorry, I don't watch so many Padres games. I do know who obviously Brad Hand is, but the other guy's a rookie. But they're both young, relatively young, and under team control for a couple years. And they got Mejia, who's a top 5 prospect according to Keith Law. The difference is they are under team control, where the Indians are going to have those relievers for multiple years, while Oakland's only going to have him for 2 to 3 months, depending if they make the playoffs. So that hurts the Mets' value of Familia because he is a free agent. But I thought they could get a little bit more. At the end of the day, I love this trade for Oakland. They're not giving up really anything of substance. It's going to help them out. They also are giving up a little bit of international signing bonus money. How much is that? Is that $200,000 in international signing money? Is that $2 million? We don't know. Probably not a whole lot. I don't know. It depends. I guess maybe it is a lot. I don't know. Maybe that's the big thing the Mets wanted. The Mets always need a little bit of money, and if they had to get some from the A's, it kind of shows you the state of the Mets' ownership of the Wilpons. But I like this trade a lot for Oakland. The Mets, could they have gotten more for him? Potentially, but not a lot more, I guess. I thought the A's would just be a little stupid, but they weren't. I think I give the A's probably an A on this. I don't see any downside to this. I think the two guys they gave up aren't big-time players. They really aren't big-time players. So if Familia just is bad, they're basically paying them, and they gave up some international signing pool money and organizational players. While the Mets didn't get a lot back, they do save some money, and they get some international and draft pool money, which the Mets need all the money they can get because their ownership is such bad state. So all in all, I like it a lot from the A's. I don't hate it for the Mets. I just don't love it for the Mets. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you later, boys. Take it easy. Peace.